Welcome to my channel. What if I tell you that you can talk about your life in English starting today, even if you know only a few words? Yes, your real life, your story, your daily routine. Imagine speaking without fear, without translating. Stay with me, because by the end, you will see your life in English in a completely new way. And comment below. What is one simple sentence about your life? Chapter 1. Your life is your best English book. You don't need a big dictionary to start speaking English. You don't need perfect grammar. And you definitely don't need to wait for the right time, because that time is already here. Let me tell you something simple, but powerful. Your life, the life you are already living every day, is your best English book. Yes, your own life. The way you wake up, the way you drink your tea, the way you walk, think, feel, and even the way you get tired at night. All of this is already full of English. You just never looked at it this way before. And today, something changes. Today, you stop looking outside for English, and you start looking inside your own life. Think about it. When you wake up in the morning, you already have a story. Maybe you open your eyes slowly. Maybe you feel sleepy. Maybe you check your phone. Maybe you say, I don't want to wake up. That is English. Simple, real, and powerful. You don't need long sentences. You don't need big words. You just need to notice your life and give it a voice. Say it in the simplest way possible. I wake up. I feel tired. I want more sleep. These are not small sentences. These are strong sentences because they are real. They come from your life, and real English is always stronger than perfect English. Many learners feel that English is something far away, something difficult, something that belongs to books, teachers, or smart people. But that is not true. English is just a way to express what is already inside you. You already have thoughts. You already have feelings. You already have experiences. So you already have content. The only thing missing is simple expression. And that is what we are building here step by step, without pressure, without fear. You are not learning something new from zero. You are simply giving a new language to your existing life. Let me break something important inside your mind right now. You do not need to speak like a professor. You do not need to sound perfect. You just need to sound real. A real person says, I am hungry. A real person says, I am late. A real person says, I feel good today. And guess what? That is exactly what you can say too. You don't need permission. You don't need confidence first. Confidence comes after you start speaking, not before. So instead of waiting, you begin now. You speak about what is happening in your life at this moment. Maybe you are sitting right now. Maybe you are watching this video. Maybe you are thinking, can I really do this? And I want you to say it. Say, I am watching a video. Say, I am learning English. Say, I feel a little nervous, but I want to try. Look at that. You are already speaking. Not perfect, but real. And real is enough to start. Real is always enough. Your life is full of small moments, and these small moments are your biggest opportunity. When you eat, you can say, I am eating food. When you walk, you can say, I am walking outside. When you feel happy, you can say, I feel happy today. When you feel tired, you can say, I feel tired. These sentences may look simple, but they are building something powerful inside you. They are building your speaking habit. They are training your brain to think in English slowly, naturally, and without force. And here is something very important. You don't need to remember everything. You don't need to memorize big lists of words. You just need to repeat your life in English, again and again. Your life repeats every day, right? You wake up every day. You eat every day. You sleep every day. So your English will also repeat. And repetition creates confidence. Confidence creates speed. And speed creates fluency. This is the simple path that most learners ignore because they think learning must be difficult. But real learning is simple. And simple works. Now I want you to imagine something. Imagine someone asks you, "Tell me about your day." Before maybe you felt blank. Maybe you didn't know what to say. But now slowly, you start answering. I wake up at 7 o'clock. I drink tea. I go to work. I feel tired in the afternoon. I come home. I watch something. I sleep. Look at this. This is not perfect English, but it is alive. It is moving. It is your story. And this is how speaking begins, not with perfection, but with expression. You are not empty. You are full of stories. Every single day, you live something, you feel something, you think something, and all of that can become English.
So stop saying, I don't know English. Start saying, I can talk about my life because that is the truth. And when you accept this truth, everything changes. Fear becomes smaller, confidence becomes stronger, and English becomes closer. This is your first step. Not grammar, not rules, not difficult sentences. Just your life. Your simple, beautiful, real life. You observe it, you speak it, you repeat it, and slowly, without even realizing, you start becoming a speaker. Not a perfect speaker, but a real speaker. And real speakers grow every day. So right now, I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself one simple question. What is happening in my life right now? And then say it in English. Even if it is just one sentence, even if it is not perfect, say it. Because that one sentence is not small. That one sentence is the beginning of your new identity, the identity of someone who speaks. Chapter 2. Start with your morning story. Now we take your first real step. And this step is simple, natural, and powerful. You don't start with difficult topics. You don't start with long conversations. You start with something that already belongs to you, your morning. Every single person has a morning. And that means every single person already has something to say in English. You don't need new ideas. You don't need new vocabulary. You just need to look at what you already do every day and give it simple words. That's it. That is how speaking begins, not from outside, but from inside your real life. Think about your morning today. Not yesterday, not last week, just today. You woke up. Maybe you opened your eyes slowly. Maybe you turned off your alarm. Maybe you stayed in bed for a few minutes. That is already your first sentence. I wake up, then what happened? You got out of bed. You walked to the bathroom, you brushed your teeth, you washed your face, you drank tea or coffee. Look at this. These are not big actions, but they are clear, real, and easy to say. I brush my teeth. I wash my face. I drink tea. You are not trying to impress anyone. You are just describing your life step by step. And here is something very important. Order helps your brain think clearly. When you follow your actions in order, your English becomes easier. First, I wake up, then I go to the bathroom. After that, I brush my teeth. Then I drink tea. You see what is happening here? You are not just speaking random sentences. You are building a story, a simple story, but a complete one. And this is how real speaking works, not by memorizing, but by connecting actions in a natural flow. Let's slow it down for a moment and feel it. Say it with me in your mind. First, I wake up. Then, I sit on my bed. After that, I check my phone. Then, I go to the bathroom. I brush my teeth. I wash my face. I go to the kitchen. I drink tea. Do you see this? You just spoke many sentences. Not one, not two, but many. And none of them were difficult. This is the moment where something changes inside you. You realize, wait, I can actually speak. Maybe not perfectly, maybe slowly, but you are speaking. And that feeling is powerful. Many learners think they need to learn for months before they can speak. But right now, in this moment, you are already speaking because you are using your life as your guide. You are not guessing. You are not searching for ideas. You are simply describing what you already know. And that removes fear because there is nothing to forget. Your life is always with you. Your morning happens every day, so your practice is always ready. Now let's make it even stronger. Add small details. Not too many, just a little more. I wake up at 7. I feel sleepy. I drink hot tea. I sit quietly. These small details make your English more alive. And still, everything is simple. You are not forcing anything. You are just adding a little color to your story, like painting with soft, easy strokes. Slowly, your sentences become richer, but still easy to say. And here is the most powerful part of this chapter. You turn this into a daily habit. Every morning, you speak your morning. Even if it is for 1 minute, even if it is just 5 sentences, you repeat your routine in English again and again. And because your morning is similar every day, your sentences become faster. Your brain stops translating. Your mouth starts moving more naturally. You don't feel stuck anymore. You feel flow. At first, maybe you will speak slowly. You will think before each sentence. That is okay. That is normal. But after a few days, something amazing happens. You don't need to think so much. The sentences come easier. You say, I wake up without stopping. You say, I brush my teeth without fear. This is progress. Not loud, not dramatic, but real. And real progress is what builds true confidence. Let me give you a small challenge right now. Close your eyes for a moment and remember your morning. See it like a movie, step by step. Now open your eyes and say it in English. Don't worry about mistakes. Don't stop. Just say it, one sentence, then another, then another. Keep going, even if it is simple, even if it feels small, because this is not small. This is the beginning of your speaking journey. And listen carefully. When you can speak about your morning, you can speak about your life, because your morning is just the first piece. After this, you can talk about your afternoon, your evening, your work, your feelings. But everything starts here, with this simple, powerful practice, your morning story. So don't wait. Don't overthink. Tomorrow morning, or even today, if you just woke up, start speaking. Say, I wake up. Say, I feel tired. Say, I drink tea. Build your story step by step. And when you finish, smile for a moment, because you just did something important. You spoke English using your own life. And that is how real speakers are made. Not in classrooms, not in books, but in small, real moments like this, one morning at a time. Chapter 3. Talk about your feelings, not just actions. Now something important changes. Until now, you were speaking about actions. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you drink tea, you go outside. This is good. This is your base. But real English, the kind that feels natural and human, is not only about what you do, it is also about what you feel. And this is where your English becomes alive. Because actions tell a story, but feelings give that story a heart. Without feelings, your English sounds correct but empty. With feelings, even simple sentences become powerful, real, and easy to remember. Think about your morning again. You wake up. That is an action. But how do you feel when you wake up? Do you feel sleepy? Do you feel fresh? Do you feel lazy? Maybe some days you feel excited. Maybe some days you feel tired. Now look at these sentences. I feel sleepy. I feel fresh today. I feel a little lazy. These are simple sentences, but they are strong because they come from inside you. When you speak like this, you are not just describing your life. You are expressing your experience, and that is what real communication is. Many learners only focus on actions because they think feelings are difficult. They think, what if I say it wrong? But listen carefully. There is no wrong feeling. If you feel happy, you say, I feel happy. If you feel nervous, you say, I feel nervous. If you feel confused, you say, I feel confused. You are not taking a test. You are sharing your life, and your feelings are always correct because they are yours. This idea removes a big pressure from your mind. You stop worrying about being perfect, and you start focusing on being honest. Let's go deeper for a moment. Imagine you are going somewhere new. Maybe a new place, maybe a new job, maybe a new class. You can say, I go to a new place. That is an action. But now add your feeling. I feel nervous. Suddenly your sentence becomes more real. It becomes something people can understand and connect with. Or imagine you meet a friend. You can say, I meet my friend. But when you say, I feel happy, the sentence changes. It becomes warm, human, and alive. This is the power of emotional English. And here is something very interesting. When you connect words with feelings, your memory becomes stronger. Why? Because emotions stay longer in your mind than dry information. You may forget a grammar rule, but you will not forget how you felt yesterday. So when you say, I feel tired after work, your brain connects English with your real experience. This creates a natural learning process. You are not forcing your brain. You are helping it remember in a human way. Now I want you to try something simple. Think about your day today. Not only what you did, but how you felt. Maybe in the morning you felt sleepy. In the afternoon you felt busy. In the evening you felt relaxed. Now say it in English. In the morning I feel sleepy. In the afternoon I feel busy. In the evening I feel relaxed. Look at that. You are not just speaking. You are telling your story with emotion. And this is how your English becomes real. You may notice something inside you when you do this. a small change. You feel more connected to your own words. You don't feel like you are repeating something from a book. You feel like you are speaking your truth. And that feeling is very important, because when you feel connected, you continue. You don't quit. You don't get bored. You enjoy the process. Another important thing, when you speak about feelings, you don't need long sentences. Keep it simple. I feel good. I feel bad. I feel tired. I feel excited. These are enough. Later, you can add more like, I feel very happy today, or I feel a little nervous right now. But don't rush. Start small. Start real. Let your English grow slowly, like a natural process. And please remember this, real speakers do not always speak perfect sentences. They speak real sentences. They say what they feel, even if it is simple, even if it is not perfect. That is why they sound natural. That is why people understand them. Because communication is not about showing how much grammar you know. It is about sharing what is inside you. This is a big shift from robotic learning to human communication. Before, maybe you were thinking, what is the correct sentence? Now you start thinking, what do I feel? And then you say it in the simplest way. This is how your English becomes yours, not copied, not memorized, but lived. So from today, don't just speak about actions. Add your feelings. Every time you say something, ask yourself, how do I feel? And answer it. Even one word is enough. Happy, tired, excited, nervous. These small words carry big meaning, and slowly your English will start to sound like you. Right now, take a moment, ask yourself, how do I feel? And say it in English. Just one sentence, that is enough. Because this one sentence is not just practice, it is your voice, and your voice matters. All right? Chapter 4. Use small sentences with big power. Now we remove one of the biggest pressures from your mind, the pressure to speak long, perfect sentences. Many learners believe that good English means big sentences, complex grammar, and impressive words. They wait, they think, they try to build something perfect in their head, and because of that, they don't speak at all. But today, you are going to change this belief completely. You are going to understand something simple and powerful. Small sentences are enough. Not only enough, they are the best way to start, and they are the fastest way to become a real speaker. Let me show you what I mean. Look at these sentences. I am tired today. I go to work. I like coffee. These are not long sentences. They are not complicated, but they are clear, correct, and real. And most importantly, you can say them quickly. You don't need to stop. You don't need to search for words for too long. This is where your speaking begins to feel natural, because speaking is not about showing how much you know. It is about saying what you want easily and clearly. Think about a child learning a language. A child does not start with long sentences. A child starts with small pieces. I want water. I go there. I like this. Simple, direct, and full of meaning. And slowly, those small pieces grow into bigger expressions. You are going to follow the same natural path, not because you are a child, but because this is how the human brain learns language best, step by step, small to big, easy to natural. Now, here is something very important. Small sentences create speed, and speed creates confidence. When your sentences are short, your brain does not feel heavy. You don't get stuck. You don't freeze. You speak, and then you speak again, and then again. This flow builds something inside you, a feeling that you can do it. And once that feeling starts growing, your fear becomes smaller and smaller. Let's try something together. Imagine you are talking about your day. You don't need to say everything in one long sentence. Break it. I wake up early. I feel sleepy. I drink tea. I go outside. I start my work. Look at this. 5 small sentences. Simple, clear, but together they tell a story. This is the secret. You don't need one big sentence. You need many small sentences that connect naturally. This is how real speaking works. And when you connect these small sentences, something beautiful happens. You create flow. Your English starts moving like a river, not stopping, not struggling, just moving. You don't think too much about grammar. You don't try to be perfect. You focus on expression. And expression is what makes you a speaker. Many learners are afraid to speak because they think, my sentence is too small. But let me tell you something clearly. A small sentence spoken confidently is always better than a perfect sentence that stays in your head. Speaking is action, and action builds skill. If you keep waiting for the perfect sentence, you will stay silent. But if you start with small sentences, you will grow every day. Let's make it even more real. Think about how you feel right now. Don't try to say something big. Just say, I feel okay, or I feel a little tired, or I feel good today. That is enough. You are not writing a book. You are speaking your life. And your life is simple, so your English can be simple too. Now, as you continue, you can slowly add more, not all at once, but step by step. I feel tired today because I worked a lot. See the difference? You started small, and then you added a little more. This is how your English grows naturally, not forced, not rushed, but built on a strong base of simple sentences. Another important thing, when you use small sentences, you make fewer mistakes. And this is good because fewer mistakes mean less fear, and less fear means more speaking. You don't stop every second to check your grammar. You just speak. And the more you speak, the better you become. So from today, change your goal. Don't try to speak perfectly. Try to speak simply. Try to speak more. Try to speak every day. Use small sentences again and again. Repeat them. Combine them. Play with them. And slowly, without even noticing, your English will become stronger. Right now, I want you to do something. Say 5 small sentences about your life. Not big ones, just small, clear sentences. I am sitting. I am learning English. I feel motivated. I want to improve. I will practice today. Look at that. You just spoke 5 sentences. Easy, right? But powerful. This is your new way. Small sentences, big power. No pressure, no waiting, just speaking. And when you follow this path, something changes inside you. You stop being a silent learner and you start becoming a real speaker. Chapter 5. Talk to yourself every day. Now, we build one of the most powerful habits that can completely change your English speaking journey. And the best part is that you don't need anyone else to start. You don't need a teacher sitting in front of you. You don't need a speaking partner, and you don't need to wait for the right moment. You already have everything you need because the person you will practice with is yourself. Yes, you. And this is where something very important happens. You move from depending on others to becoming independent, and that shift alone can take you much further than you imagine. Many learners feel stuck because they think, I don't have someone to practice with. They wait for a friend, a class, or a perfect situation. But while they are waiting, days pass, weeks pass, and nothing really changes. Today, you break this pattern. You understand that the safest and most powerful practice is self-talk. When you talk to yourself, there is no fear. No one is judging you. No one is correcting you. No one is watching you. And because of that, your mind relaxes. Your voice becomes free, and your English starts to flow naturally. Let's make it very real and very simple. Imagine you are walking. You don't need to stay silent. You can speak softly, or even in your mind. You can say, I am walking now. I am going to the market. The weather is nice today. I feel good. These are not difficult sentences, but they are alive. They come from your present moment. You are not memorizing anything. You are describing what is happening around you. And this is how thinking in English begins. Not from books, but from real life. Now imagine you are in the kitchen. You are cooking something. You can say, I am cooking food. I am cutting vegetables. The food smells good. I am hungry. You are simply connecting your actions with words, step by step, moment by moment. And the more you do this, the more your brain starts to understand English as a natural part of your life, not as a separate subject that you study only at a specific time. Even when you are sitting alone in your room, you have so many things to say. You can look around and speak. This is my room. My bed is here. I have a table. I like this place. I feel relaxed. Look at how easy this is. You are not forcing yourself to create new ideas. You are simply observing your surroundings and giving them simple English words. This builds something very important inside you. It builds awareness. You start noticing your life more, and at the same time, you start expressing it in English. At first, it may feel a little strange. You may think, why am I talking to myself? That feeling is normal. Every new habit feels strange in the beginning. But after a few days, something changes. It starts to feel natural. You don't feel awkward anymore. Instead, you feel comfortable. You start enjoying it. And this is the moment where your practice becomes consistent because it no longer feels like work. It feels like part of your daily life. There is another powerful benefit of self-talk. It builds your thinking speed. When you talk to yourself regularly, your brain starts forming sentences faster. You don't translate from your first language again and again. Instead, you begin to think directly in English. You see something, and the English sentence comes to your mind naturally. This is a big step in your journey, because thinking in English is the bridge between learning and speaking fluently. Also, when you practice alone, you are free to repeat. You can say the same sentence again and again until it feels smooth. For example, I am walking now. I am walking now. I am walking now. You are training your mouth, your ears, and your brain at the same time. This repetition is not boring when it comes from your own life. It becomes a rhythm, and rhythm makes speaking easier and more natural. One more important thing, self-talk removes the fear of mistakes. When you are alone, you don't stop every second to correct yourself. You keep going. Even if the sentence is not perfect, you continue speaking. And this habit of continuing without stopping is what makes real speakers confident. They don't freeze. They don't wait for perfection. They express themselves, and they improve over time. Now think about this deeply. You can practice English while walking, while cooking, while sitting, while resting, even while lying on your bed. There is no fixed time, no fixed place, and no fixed rule. This means your learning becomes flexible. It fits into your life easily. And when something fits into your life, you don't quit it. You continue it without pressure. This is the moment where many learners feel something powerful inside them, a realization. I don't need to wait anymore. You understand that your practice can start right now, wherever you are. You don't need permission. You don't need preparation. You just need to begin speaking. So from today, make this your daily habit. Talk to yourself in English, not for hours, not with pressure, just for a few minutes, many times a day. While doing your normal activities, add simple sentences. Keep them real, keep them easy, and keep them consistent. Over time, you will see a big change. Your thinking will become faster, your speaking will become smoother, and your confidence will grow naturally. Right now, don't wait. Look around you and say something in English. One sentence is enough to start, then another, and then one more. Because this simple act, talking to yourself, is not small. It is the beginning of your independence as an English speaker. Chapter 6. Make mistakes like a winner. Now we face one of the biggest fears that stops people from speaking English, and that fear is mistakes. Many learners stay silent not because they don't know words, but because they are afraid of saying something wrong. They think, what if I make a mistake? What if people laugh? What if my sentence is not correct? These thoughts create pressure, and that pressure blocks your voice. But today, you are going to see mistakes in a completely different way. You are going to understand that mistakes are not your enemy. They are your path. They are your teachers. And without them, real learning cannot happen. Let me say something very clearly. You cannot become a speaker without making mistakes. It is impossible. Every person who speaks English today, every confident speaker you see, has made thousands of mistakes. They did not become fluent by avoiding mistakes. They became fluent by going through them. So, if you are making mistakes, you are not failing. You are moving forward. You are doing the exact thing that leads to progress. Think about a child learning to speak. A child does not wait to be perfect. A child speaks, even if the words are broken, even if the sentence is not correct, and slowly, step by step, the child improves. No one tells the child, stop speaking until you are perfect. Instead, the child is encouraged to try again and again. This is the natural way of learning a language, and you are going to follow the same path, not with pressure, but with freedom. Now let's make this real with examples. Imagine you want to say, I am going to the market, but you say, I go market. Is it perfect? No. But can people understand you? Yes. The meaning is clear. Communication happens, and that is what matters in the beginning. Or maybe you say, I am very like this food. It is not correct, but the listener understands that you like the food. You are expressing your idea, and that is already a big success. This is where your mindset changes. Instead of asking, is my sentence perfect? You start asking, can people understand me? If the answer is yes, then you are doing well, and with time, your sentences will improve naturally. But improvement comes from use, not from silence. If you stay quiet, waiting for perfection, your English will not grow. But if you speak even with mistakes, your English will become stronger every day. Another important thing is this. When you make mistakes, you learn faster. Why? Because your brain notices the difference. It sees what you said. And later, when you hear the correct form, it connects the two. This process builds understanding. It is not instant, but it is powerful. And it only happens when you are active, when you are speaking, when you are trying. Now I want you to imagine a simple situation. Someone asks you, what did you do today? You feel a little nervous, but you answer, I wake up late, I go work, I eat food, I come home. Maybe your grammar is not perfect, but you spoke. You shared your day, and that is what matters. You did not stay silent. You did not run away. You stepped forward. And that step is more important than any perfect sentence. Also, when you accept mistakes, something beautiful happens inside you. You feel lighter. You don't carry the heavy weight of perfection anymore. You don't stop yourself again and again. You speak more freely. And when you speak more, your confidence grows. Confidence does not come from knowing everything. It comes from using what you know without fear. You also need to remember that people are not as strict as you think. Most people want to understand you, not judge you. They focus on your message, not your mistakes. And even if someone notices a mistake, it is not a problem. It is part of the process. You are learning, and learning is always a journey, not a perfect performance. From today, I want you to change one simple habit. When you speak, don't stop in the middle to correct yourself again and again. Keep going. Finish your idea. Let your sentence flow, even if it is not perfect. This habit will make your speaking stronger. It will train your brain to focus on communication, not fear. And here is a powerful thought to remember. Every mistake you make is a step closer to fluency. Every wrong sentence is a practice. Every attempt is progress. So instead of feeling bad, you can feel proud because you are trying, and trying is the real work. Take a moment now and say something in English about your day. Don't think too much. Don't worry about grammar. Just speak. Maybe it will not be perfect. That is okay, because what you are doing right now is more important than perfection. You are building your voice. So from today, make a new rule for yourself. Speak, even if it is not perfect. Try, even if you feel unsure. Continue, even if you make mistakes, because this is how winners learn. Not by avoiding mistakes, but by using them as steps to grow. And when you follow this path, slowly but surely, your English will become stronger, clearer, and more confident. Chapter 7. Turn your day into English practice. Now your world becomes bigger. Until now, you were speaking about your morning, your small actions, and your feelings. That was your starting point, and it was powerful. But now you take the next step, and this step changes everything. You stop limiting English to one moment of your day, and you begin to see your entire day as practice. From the moment you wake up until the moment you go to sleep, your life becomes your English classroom. Not a classroom with walls and rules, but a living, moving space where everything around you can become words, sentences, and stories. Think about your day from beginning to end. You wake up, you start your morning routine, and then your day continues. Maybe you go to work. Maybe you go to school. Maybe you stay at home. Maybe you meet people. Maybe you eat. Maybe you rest. Every part of your day is full of actions, thoughts, and feelings. And now, instead of just living these moments silently, you begin to speak them. You give your day a voice. Let's walk through a simple day together. After your morning, you can say, I go to work, or I start my study. Then you can add more. I sit at my desk, I open my book. I feel a little tired. I try to focus. These are not big sentences, but they create a clear picture. You are not just saying random words. You are building your day step by step in English. And because it is your real life, you don't need to imagine anything. You already know what is happening. Now move to another part of your day. Maybe you take a break. You can say, I take a break. I drink tea. I feel relaxed. I talk to a friend. Again, simple sentences, but full of meaning. You are practicing naturally without forcing anything. Then later, maybe you eat food. I eat lunch. The food is good. I feel full. And then in the evening, you can say, I come home. I feel tired. I rest. I watch something. Slowly, your entire day becomes a story, and you are the storyteller. This is where repetition becomes your best friend. Your daily routine is not completely new. Every day, many things repeat. You wake up, you eat, you work, you rest. And because your life repeats, your English also repeats. You say similar sentences again and again, and this is not boring. This is how fluency is built. Repetition makes your sentences faster. It makes your thinking smoother. It helps your brain recognize patterns, and those patterns become automatic over time. At first, you may think, I am saying the same things again, but that is exactly what you need. When you repeat, you strengthen your foundation. The sentence that felt difficult yesterday becomes easy today. The sentence that felt slow becomes faster. And slowly, without even noticing, you stop thinking too much before speaking. The words come naturally because your brain has seen them many times before. Now something very important happens. You start seeing English everywhere, not just during study time, not just when you open a book, but in every small moment of your life. When you see food, you think, I am eating. When you feel tired, you think, I feel tired. When you meet someone, you think, I am talking to a friend. English is no longer separate from your life. It becomes part of your life. And this is a major transformation. This change also brings consistency. You don't depend on motivation anymore. You don't say, I will practice only when I feel ready, because your practice is already inside your day. You are not adding extra time. You are using your existing time, and this makes your learning stable. Even on busy days, even on slow days, you still practice because you are simply living and speaking at the same time. Another powerful thing is that your confidence grows quietly. You may not notice it at first, but it is happening. When you can talk about your full day, even in simple sentences, you feel stronger. You feel capable. You feel like a speaker, not perfect, but real. And this feeling is more important than any rule or grammar point because it keeps you moving forward. Let's imagine a moment. Someone asks you, "What did you do today?" Before, maybe you felt stuck, but now you start speaking. I wake up early, I go to work, I feel busy, I eat lunch, I talk to my friend, I come home, I feel tired, I rest. This is not a perfect story, but it is your story. It is clear, it is real, and it shows your progress. You are no longer silent. You are expressing your life. From today, I want you to see your day differently. Don't just live your day. Speak your day. Notice your actions, your feelings, your moments, and give them simple English sentences. You don't need to do everything at once. Start with a few parts, then slowly expand, morning, afternoon, evening, step by step. And remember this, your life is always moving, and that means your English can always move with it. You don't need to wait for a special time to practice. Your practice is already happening every moment if you choose to see it. Right now, take a deep breath and think about your day so far. Then say a few sentences in English. Not perfect, not long, just real. Because this is your transformation. You are not just learning English anymore, you are living it. Chapter 8. Think in English, not translate. Now we come to one of the most powerful shifts in your entire journey. And this shift changes not only how you speak, but how you think. Until now, maybe you have been using a hidden step in your mind. You hear something in English, you translate it into your own language, then you understand it. Or you want to say something, you first create the sentence in your own language, then you try to translate it into English. This process feels normal, but it is slow, and sometimes it is confusing. It creates a gap between your thoughts and your words. And today, you are going to start closing that gap. Let me explain why translation holds you back. When you translate, your brain has to do extra work. First, it builds a sentence in your own language. Then, it searches for English words. Then, it tries to arrange them correctly. By the time you finish, the moment is gone. The conversation moves forward, and you feel left behind. This is why many learners say, "I know English, but I cannot speak fast." The problem is not your knowledge. The problem is the process you are using. And once you change that process, everything starts to feel easier. So what is the new way? You begin to think directly in English. Not perfectly, not completely, but slowly and naturally. You stop translating every word, and instead, you connect English words with images, actions, and feelings. For example, when you hear the word apple, you don't need to think of it in your own language. You see a picture in your mind, a red apple, maybe on a table, maybe in your hand. That is understanding without translation. That is direct connection. Now apply this idea to your daily life. When you see something, don't translate it. Just name it in English. You see a chair, you think chair. You see water, you think water. You feel hungry, you think I am hungry. This may feel small, but it is a big step because you are training your brain to respond directly in English without taking a long path through another language. Let's make it more real. Imagine you are walking outside. Instead of thinking in your own language and then translating, you start observing in English. I am walking. The road is busy. I see people. The weather is warm. You are not translating these sentences. You are simply noticing your surroundings and giving them English words. This creates a natural flow. Your thoughts and your words start to move together. At first, it may feel a little difficult. Your brain is used to translating, so it may try to go back to the old habit. That is okay. You don't need to fight it. You just gently bring your focus back to English. Start with small things. One word, one sentence, one moment. Over time, this becomes easier. Your brain learns a new way of thinking, and this new way is faster and more direct. Another important idea is this. You don't need to think in long sentences at the beginning. Think in simple pieces. I am tired. I want food. I feel good. These are enough. You are building a new system inside your mind, and like any system, it grows step by step. As you continue, your thoughts will become longer and more natural. But you don't rush. You allow it to develop. Now connect this with everything you have learned before. When you talk about your morning, think it in English. When you talk about your feelings, think them in English. When you speak to yourself, do it without translating. All these practices come together in this chapter. They support each other, and slowly you begin to feel a new kind of confidence, not just in speaking, but in thinking. This is where speed comes from. When you stop translating, your brain moves faster. You don't pause as much. You don't search for every word. You simply express what you see, what you feel, and what you do. And this creates a smooth, natural flow. Your English starts to feel lighter, easier, and more connected to your real life. Let's imagine a small moment. Someone asks you, "What are you doing?" Before, you might think in your own language, then translate. But now you respond directly. I am working. I am studying. I am resting. The answer comes quickly because your brain is not taking extra steps. This is the power of thinking in English. Also, remember that you don't need to understand every word perfectly to think in English. You can use the words you already know. Even if your vocabulary is small, it is enough to start. You don't wait to become perfect. You begin with what you have, and you grow from there. There is also an emotional change that happens here. When you start thinking in English, you feel closer to the language. It no longer feels foreign. It starts to feel like a part of you. Your thoughts carry your voice in English, and that creates a deeper connection. You are not just learning English anymore. You are living it from the inside. So from today, make a small decision. Reduce translation and increase direct thinking. When you see something, name it in English. When you feel something, express it in English. When you act, describe it in English. Keep it simple, keep it real, and keep it consistent. Right now, take a moment. Look around you. Choose one thing, one action, or one feeling, and think about it in English without translating. That moment, that simple act, is the beginning of a new way of thinking, and this new way will take you closer to fluency, step by step, day by day. Chapter 9. Your life, your voice, your English. Now we arrive at a beautiful moment. A moment that is not about learning something new, but about realizing how far you have come. At the beginning, you were unsure. You were thinking about grammar, about mistakes, about whether you were ready or not. You were looking at English like something outside of you, something difficult, something distant. But now something has changed. You are no longer just learning English. You are using it. You are living it. You are speaking about your life in your own way, with your own voice. Not perfect, but real. And real is what matters. Take a moment and remember where you started. Maybe you were silent. Maybe you understood a little, but you did not speak. Maybe you were afraid of making mistakes, afraid of saying something wrong. That fear was heavy, and it stopped you again and again. But step by step, you moved forward. You started with your life. You spoke about your morning. You added your feelings. You used small sentences. You talked to yourself. You made mistakes, but you did not stop. You turned your whole day into practice. And then slowly, you began to think in English. Each step looked small, but together, they created something powerful. Now imagine a simple situation. Someone asks you, "Tell me about your day." Before, this question felt difficult. Maybe your mind became empty. Maybe you didn't know where to start. But now you take a small breath and you begin. I wake up early. I feel a little tired. I drink tea. Then I go to work. I feel busy, but I try my best. In the evening, I come home and I rest. Look at this moment carefully. Your sentences are simple, but they are clear. You are not silent anymore. You are expressing your life, and that is the real victory. You may still feel that your English is not perfect, and that is completely fine. Perfection is not the goal. Expression is the goal. Connection is the goal. When you speak, people understand you. They see your thoughts. They feel your emotions. That is communication. That is what language is for. And you are already doing it. You are no longer waiting for the right level. You are using what you have, and that is enough to move forward. Something else has also changed inside you, your identity. Before, you may have said, "I am learning English." But now you can start saying, "I speak English." Not perfectly, not like a native speaker, but as yourself, as a real person with real experiences. English is no longer just a subject you study for some time. It has become a part of your daily life. It is part of your thoughts, your routine, your voice. And this is a deep transformation because identity shapes everything you do. When you see yourself as someone who speaks, you behave differently. You try more. You speak more. You take small risks. You don't hide anymore. And every time you speak, even a little, you strengthen this new identity. It becomes more real, more natural, more comfortable. You are not pretending, you are becoming. There will still be days when you feel slow, when your sentences don't come easily, when you make mistakes. That is part of the journey. But now, you don't stop because of that. You understand that progress is not always fast, but it is always happening when you continue. You have built habits, you have built awareness, you have built confidence. These things stay with you. Now let's look forward. Imagine yourself a few weeks from now. You wake up, and without thinking too much, you start speaking about your morning. You walk, and you describe your surroundings. You feel something, and you express it in English. You don't translate every word. You don't stop for every mistake. You just continue. Your English flows more naturally. It feels lighter. It feels like a part of you. This is not a dream. This is a direction, and you are already on this path. And here is something very important to remember. Your journey does not end here. This is not the finish line. This is the beginning of a new way of learning, a way that is simple, real, and connected to your life. You can continue building from here. You can add more words, more ideas, more confidence, but you will always return to this base, your life, your voice, your English. So take a moment right now. Think about your day. Think about your feelings. Think about your journey. And say something in English, not for anyone else, but for yourself. Because your voice matters. Your story matters. And every sentence you speak is a step forward. You are no longer silent. You are no longer waiting. You are speaking. And this is just the beginning of something much bigger. If you feel this change inside you, don't stop here. Start today. Speak one sentence about your life right now. Comment below your sentence. I want to read it. And if you want to become a confident English speaker, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and keep learning with me every day. Your English journey has already started.